I'm 79 years old. And this is the first time I'm saying this out loud. I lived a lie my entire life. Not a dramatic one. Not a criminal one. A respectable lie. The kind people nod at. The kind they applaud. From the outside, my life looks solid, stable, even successful. I worked, I provided, I never ran from responsibility. And yet, here I am, closer to the end than the beginning, realizing I failed at the one thing that actually mattered. Society told me I was doing everything right. Build something, be patient, endure, sacrifice now so you can live later. They said love would understand, family would wait, time would forgive. That was the trap. And the person I betrayed first wasn't my wife or my children. It was the younger version of me, the one who believed life would feel fuller than this, the one who thought there would be a moment when it all made sense. My son's name is Daniel. I see his face even now, not the man he is today, the boy he was, standing in a doorway asking if I had time, and me saying, without looking up, not now. I said that more times than I can count. I thought I was being strong. I was being absent. For decades, I hid behind what I called virtue, responsibility, duty. I told myself a good man keeps the lights on, food on the table, worry off his family's shoulders. I believed love was measured in hours worked and money earned. I believed exhaustion was proof that I cared. Every missed dinner had a reason. Every broken promise had an explanation. I told myself this wasn't selfishness. It was sacrifice, that I was doing it for them. I truly believed that one day they would look back and understand why I wasn't there. There was a moment when I thought I had won. I remember it clearly. The promotion, the office with a door that closed, the house that finally felt enough. I stood there alone, keys in my hand, and felt something close to pride. I told myself, now I've earned it. Now I can slow down. Now I can be present. What I didn't see was that while I was climbing, life was happening without me. My children grew used to my absence. My wife stopped telling me small things, not out of anger, out of adaptation. The routine took over. Wake up, work, come home tired, repeat. And every time doubt crept in, I pushed it away with the same sentence. Just a little more. Just one more year. Tomorrow will be easier. Tomorrow is always available in my head and completely unavailable in real life. The moment everything stopped didn't come with drama, no shouting, no slammed doors. It came as silence. I came home one evening and the house felt wrong. Not empty. Finished. In a drawer, looking for something else, I found an old photograph, a real one. Edges bent, colors fading. Daniel, 6 years old, sitting at the kitchen table waiting. On the back, in my wife's handwriting, were words that hit harder than any argument ever could. He waited for you. I sat there holding that photo, and for the first time, the lie collapsed. I understood that the finish line I was chasing never existed. It kept moving because it was never meant to be reached. And the people I loved didn't wait forever. They learned to live without me. That was the moment I admitted the truth. I hadn't postponed life. I had traded it away, one reasonable excuse at a time. For most of my life, I hid behind a virtue that everyone respected. Responsibility. That word protected me. It gave me cover. I told myself that being a good man meant being dependable. That being a good father meant paying every bill on time. That being a good husband meant keeping fear out of the house no matter the cost. I believed love was proven through endurance, through sacrifice, through Silence. I thought if I carried enough weight alone, the people I loved would feel lighter. I truly believed that exhausting myself was a form of devotion. And because the world rewards that kind of behavior, no one ever stopped me. They praised me for it. Every long night at work was called dedication. Every missed family moment was called ambition. I confused approval with truth. I had a simple equation in my head. If I worked harder now, life would be easier later. If I delayed pleasure, comfort would be permanent. If I stayed disciplined, happiness would eventually arrive like a paycheck. I told myself children don't need time, they need security. That presence could be replaced with provision. That stories could be told later. That love was patient. I never asked if it was infinite. Every time my conscience whispered that something felt wrong, I drowned it out with logic. This is what adults do. This is what responsibility looks like. One day they'll thank me. There was a moment when I was absolutely sure I had won. I remember it clearly. I was standing in a house I once thought was impossible. Clean, quiet, everything in its place. No clutter, no chaos. The kind of order people envy. I had just reached a position that came with respect. A title people leaned forward to hear. I stood there holding the keys, feeling taller than I ever had. I told myself this was the proof. This was the reward for all those years of saying not now. I thought I had secured the future. I believed I had arrived. What I didn't notice was how empty that arrival felt. The rooms echoed in a way I didn't understand yet. I told myself the feeling would pass. I always did. The wheel never stopped turning. It only demanded more. Mornings blended into nights. Work followed me home, into weekends, into vacations that weren't really vacations. I lived by deadlines and calendars, pushing real life to the edges. And every time someone asked for more of me, I answered with the same promise. Just a little longer. Just one more year. Then things will slow down. Then I'll be there. Tomorrow became my favorite word. It sounded responsible, mature, safe. But tomorrow is dangerous. It gives you permission to ignore today without feeling guilty. It convinces you that time is flexible, that relationships are elastic, that love can be paused and resumed without consequence. Routine became my hiding place. Wake up tired, work through meals, come home drained, fall asleep believing fatigue meant I was doing something noble. On weekends, I was physically present but mentally absent, already planning the week ahead. I thought balance was something you earned after suffering enough. I didn't realize life doesn't reward patience with presence. It simply moves on quietly. And the most convincing lie I ever told myself was that I was building something for my family, when in truth, I was teaching them how to live without me. The moment everything stopped didn't come with noise. No shouting, no dramatic goodbye. It came as silence so complete it felt physical. I came home one evening earlier than usual, not because I chose family, but because there was nothing left that day to demand me. The house didn't welcome me. It didn't resist me either. It just existed without me. The air felt settled, like a place that had already adjusted to my absence. I stood in the hallway longer than I should have, holding my keys, realizing no one cared where I put them anymore. That's when the clock stopped, not the one on the wall, the one inside me. I walked into the kitchen and saw the chair, the same chair my son used to sit on when he was small, legs swinging, waiting for me to notice him. chair was still there, pushed in neatly, but it felt like a museum piece, a reminder, not an invitation. On the table was a stack of ordinary things, nothing important, but something made me open the drawer beneath it. I wasn't looking for memories, I was looking for batteries, and that's how it always happens. You don't go searching for truth, you trip over it while doing something meaningless. At the back of the drawer, under old manuals and junk we never throw away, I found a photograph. A real one. Not a screen, not a file. Paper, soft from age, edges bent, colors fading. It was my son, Daniel, 6 years old, sitting at the kitchen table, waiting. His hands folded the way children do when they don't know what else to do with them. On the back, in my wife's handwriting, were 4 words written without drama, without accusation. He waited for you. I sat down hard, the chair scraping against the floor, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. That photograph weighed more than every achievement I had ever carried. That was the instant the lie collapsed, not slowly, completely. I understood with terrifying clarity that the finish line I had been running toward never existed. Every time I thought I was close, it moved, because it was designed to move, and the people I loved were never meant to stand still while I chased it. They lived, they grew, they adapted, they learned how to fill the space I left behind. I had been running toward a future that required them to wait forever, and they refused. Rightfully so. Sitting there with that photograph in my hands, I saw my life without excuses for the first time. All the just one more year promises, all the reasonable explanations, all the confidence that tomorrow would always be available. Tomorrow is not a place you arrive, it's a place you hide. And while I was hiding there, life was happening somewhere else. People don't wait forever. Love doesn't pause. It either grows with presence or it fades into something polite and distant. That was the moment I finally admitted the truth. I hadn't postponed life. I had traded it away, one sensible decision at a time. You can rebuild money. I've done it. You can lose it and earn it again. Watch it rise and fall like weather. You can rebuild status too, at least for a while. You can polish your name, collect titles, straighten your life until it looks impressive from the outside. You can even restore order. You can clean the house, organize the garage, label the drawers, make everything neat enough to fool yourself into thinking you're in control. But you cannot rebuild moments. You cannot earn back a child's waiting. You cannot buy the exact tone of your spouse's voice when she still trusted you with her small fears. You cannot go back to a random Tuesday when your son just wanted you to sit down for 10 minutes and listen to nothing important. Time is the only resource that never comes back. It doesn't negotiate, it doesn't forgive, it just leaves. And it leaves you with whatever relationships you actually fed while it was here. Now my son is a grown man with a life I only know in headlines. He's polite with me. That word still stings. Polite. He calls on holidays. Sometimes he answers when I call. We talk about safe topics. Health, weather, work, the price of things. He doesn't tell me what keeps him awake. He doesn't ask me for advice, not because he's stubborn, but because I trained him not to need me. I lost the right to his inner world slowly, without a fight. No one slammed a door, no one shouted. Distance arrived the way dust does, one invisible layer at a time until one day you wipe the surface and realize how long you've been gone. The people I worked with disappeared even faster. When I stepped away, there were speeches, handshakes, a nice watch I never wear. Then the emails stopped. 2 weeks later, my name was no longer needed in meetings. A month later, the machine ran smoothly without me. That's not cruelty. That's how institutions work. They applaud you while you're useful, then they move on. I gave my best years to something that couldn't love me back, and I starved the people who actually could. And here's something no one tells you about loneliness in old age. When you lose closeness with the person who knew your younger self, you lose your witness. My wife used to remember me as a boy in a man's body, before I hardened into responsible. She remembered the laugh I had before I learned to be serious all the time. She remembered my first dreams, the ones I abandoned quietly. When that closeness faded, it wasn't just a marriage that changed. It was my connection to who I used to be. Without a witness, your past becomes a story you tell yourself, and even you start doubting it. That's what it feels like to become a ghost. You're present, but not essential. Included, but not central. Remembered, but at a distance. And you finally understand the price. Not in dollars, in warmth, in secrets, in the simple comfort of being someone's first call. Listen to me now. I'm not speaking to a crowd, I'm speaking to you. I know you're tired, I know your back hurts and your head is full and all you want is quiet. I know you're telling yourself you'll be more present when things calm down. I know you think this bonus, this promotion, this next step is what will finally make your family feel safe. I know you believe you'll call your parents on the weekend, that you'll spend real time with your kids when work slows down, that there will be a better moment. I used those same excuses. They sounded reasonable. They sounded responsible. They were lies that felt like adulthood. And here's the part that still wakes me up at night. There is no signal that tells you this was the last chance. No alarm, no warning. One day you are busy. The next day you are distant. And one day after that, you are optional. So listen carefully. Close the laptop. Not later. Not after one more message. Close it now. If you're at work, go home. If you're already home, put the phone down and sit with the person next to you without trying to fix anything. Make the call you've been postponing. Not tomorrow. Today. Say the awkward thing. Ask the question you've been avoiding. Be there even if you're exhausted and uninteresting and have nothing impressive to offer. Presence is not about performance. It's about showing up while it still matters. Don't confuse this with abandoning responsibility. I'm not telling you to be reckless. I'm telling you to stop sacrificing what cannot be replaced for things that can. Your job will survive without your extra hours. Your family will not survive without your attention. The world will move on without you, faster than you think. The people who love you will not. At least, not at first. And once they learn how to live without you, that lesson sticks. If you're still listening, I'm going to ask you for something. Not for numbers, not for an algorithm. Subscribe because I don't have many years left, and this is everything I learned too late. Leave a comment and write the name of the person you will reach out to today. Give me your word, and if this touched something in you, share it. Not for me. For the person who is right now making the same mistake I made 40 years ago. Don't wait 50 years to understand this, because unlike me, you still have time